have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
The following program, Collaboraction Radio, is sponsored by Collaboraction, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
Activism and social change. I am without Anthony Mosley today because I guess he thinks he has a life and something better to do, but I am here with a cadre of special guests. So sit back, relax, get yourselves organized and situated and ready for this wonderful Independence Day conversation we are going to have. So let's kick off some of the sounds with our own DJ Lady D while you get your beverages and get ready to listen and chat. Collaboration Radio on WCPT 820 AM, Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, and also streaming live on Facebook and WCPT.com, and available on demand at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and everywhere else you get your digital content. I am Carla Stillwell, and I am joined today by my dear friend. You've met him.
Hey, what's up, Carla?
Yeah, it's Dr. Marcus Robinson.
Yeah, baby, let's do this.
And we are also joined by my new friend. I just met her recently, and she's so awesome. Chef Erika Durham, hello!
Hello, thank you for having me today.
Everybody forgive me, I am eating a Halls. Canada's smoke has destroyed my lungs. I've been coughing for weeks, and I'm trying to let the Halls. I thought I could get rid of it before, and now I don't want to crunch it.
I'm in the same boat.
Well, we won't be mad if you crunch it, so go ahead and crunch if you need to, and then grab another one and just let's do it.
Turn around and crunch it. I don't think it matters.
It don't matter. It's mine.
I turned away.
You crunch that Halls, girl.
I crunched my Halls. We are your host here on Collaboration Radio, where you will be able to catch us every Saturday at 4 p.m. for the foreseeable future, or as long as there is injustice in the world. And because of the Supreme Court, we might be here forever.
Yeah, you're going to be here for a very long time.
My kids are going to inherit.
If it's based on injustice in the world. On this set.
I said we were joined by our dear friend Chef Erika, and our spotlight performer today is a dear friend of mine, actor Warren Levon. We're going to be hearing a little recitation of some historical content from him. So we're going to take a second, play these announcements, and say thank you to these folks, and be right back.
Collaboration Radio is sponsored by the Joseph and Bessie Feinberg Foundation and donors and members like you. Email radio@collaboration.org or go to www.collaboration.org to learn more. And today's episode of Collaboraction Radio is sponsored by AV Chicago, Chicago's leading provider of AV production and event management services. Collaboraction Radio is supported by Social Innovation Group of Chicago, providing coaching, consulting, and training of the human side of enterprise. From nationally recognized work with collective impact groups and community, to large system change in business and government, to coach leaders to transform their organization in pockets of excellence that are radically inclusive while driving breakthrough performance. Social Innovation Group. Go to www.drmarcusrobinson.com for more information.
Dr. Marcus Robinson, is that your
that
business?
Yes, that would be it. Yeah, 30 years in it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
30 years of social justice, and you still don't have wrinkles.
You know, it's not going to crack.
Inside joke.
This is colorblind radio. I mean, if Clarence Thomas can do it.
Oh. Collaboraction is a 26-year-old nonprofit whose mission is to build knowledge, empathy, dialogue, and action around oppression and inequity through live theater, film, and now the radio, as my grandmother used to say.
Radio.
And that leverage the power of storytelling and community to cultivate positive social change. So, get out your little phones, your little calendars, because I know if I don't put it in my phone, it's not real.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. If it's not on my calendar, it's not real. It doesn't happen.
Can you send me an invite?
I can send you an invite, or you can just go to our website at www.collaboraction.org. And you can check out these events coming up. The House of Belonging ×2. Chef Erika, did you have so much fun at House of Belonging?
Oh my God, I had so much fun, and I got my whole life.
So we're doing it again.
Awesome.
For our dear friend Anthony Mosley's birthday. He's going to be 600 months old.
Yes.
We are doing it at Underground Cocktail Club on August 3rd.
Nice.
So come out again.
Yes, I'll be
because
there.
Because I will be doing a special... I'm not calling it, my knees are too bad to call it stand up. So I'll be doing a little sit down.
Okay, a little sit down.
Yes. And on July 15th at the Harper Theater, the Silver Room Block Party Film Festival will be showing a screening of my piece, Oh, Colonizers.
Oh, awesome.
At 1:40 p.m. And then there's a panel discussion. So I'll be on it. So come that. November 11th. We are having our annual Utopian Ball.
Yeah.
It's so fancy. We get fancy foods, and we get to dress up fancy and give out awards to amazing artists and have a great time. Hopefully, we'll get a little music from Dr. Marcus and the Wild Onion or some other amazing artists that we work with. So, just go ahead, go to the website, www.collaboraction.org, and become a member. Yes.
Did you say cash bar? Oh, no, open bar.
What?
Oh, it's an open bar.
I left that.
Oh, then I'll be there.
Oh, the bar.
I wasn't sure if I was coming before, but now that I know that there's an open bar, I will be there.
It's a cocktail elongated.
We have a whole cocktail hour.
It's a elongated hour. It's a long.
It's a long hour. And I had to host last year, so I could not partake of it I usually like to. I was way too sober for the night. But this year won't be that problem.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to party like it's 1999. And you all should go and get your tickets so you can come and party with us. It's a really wonderful evening.
All right. That sounds all good to me.
All right. So we've had fun. So y'all know I do this little segment called Bright Red Line, where I try to tie historical instances to our present day condition.
Mm-hmm.
But the Supreme Court, the SCOTUS, if you will. Anyway, so...
I heard that thought.
Ooh.
I felt that thought.
Man, let me tell you, if this was a podcast like of my own, the profanity that would be spewing right now, I would totally not be able to do this. So, we're going to have a conversation as three people who are deeply affected by what has happened. Not so much me pontificating and waxing philosophical, but us talking about what we know to be true as grown Black folks in America and what we've experienced and what we know. So let me just say, this week, Clarence Thomas and them struck down affirmative action, struck down the student loan debt relief, and upheld the rights of a Christian website to deny making wedding videos for the LGBTQAI plus community.
It sounds like a red letter week for racism.
Red letter week. Red states.
I'll be here not all week, but just for the next hour.
So you have to laugh to keep from crying. Mm-hmm. There's a conversation. I'm just gonna open the floor because there's some. You know, everything goes back to January 6th for me because it was a turning point. It was a aha, I told y'all so moment. Yeah. So I always go back to it because when that event happened, when the insurrection happened, I was like, ha, I never want to hear about Blue Lives Matter again.
Yeah.
You can never say it to me again because I saw you beating actual police officers with flags.
Yes.
So you killed them. You killed a couple.
Yeah.
So I can't talk to you about that. Now, with what has happened to affirmative action, nobody can say to me again, not ever again, I don't understand why it's got to be HBCUs. Why do there need to be all Black universities and colleges? Why do Black people need their own month? Why do all these minorities need their own community? Why is there Pride Month? Why is it? Because the system is actively excluding me from my rights as an American citizen. So to find humanity in any of this, to get educated, to have groceries, to have vendors, to have any of the things that make you feel like you are a part of a society, now I got to go make it myself.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, I do have a bunch of thoughts about this.
Well,
my God! But
unbundle your thoughts.
I'm going to leave some room for you, Erika. I promise.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay. If I just feel the need, I'll just be like, look, I got to say something.
Just go ahead. Just put them elbows to the left. So, this is business about the contraction of rights. Like you can see very clearly now that we're on a trend pattern in American government from the highest levels down, presidency and SCOTUS, at least the House of Representatives, and when the Republicans were in control of the entire Congress, we're all driving this thing in this direction, okay? Driving this thing in this direction. All right, and so highest levels. Well, what is that? That's the government. And when the government places its thumb or its proverbial knee on the neck of a population of people, that's called systemic oppression. That's systemic oppression. And when you do it on race-based accountabilities, that's systemic racism being acted out by the SCOTUS, being preached from the mountaintops by the candidates on the red side of the ledger. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just saying, so I'm gonna call it out like it is. So that's what that is. Now, it's one thing to be inappropriately seen to take money from billionaires with issues on your dockets. Right. Okay, that's impropriety, to say the least. That doesn't pass the smell test, no matter what you say.
Right.
But it's really odoriferous. It's really odoriferous when you take that kind of power to contract rights.
Yeah.
Now, get me take another 30 seconds on this.
Okay.
So, for up until 2021, rights have been on a more than 100-year expansion. From 1865, what right was that? To be free, Africa, people from African descent, okay? That's the first time, right?
Right.
And then you had the women's rights and all this stuff, all the way up to gay marriage.
Right.
And now it contracting. Well, who has the power to tell populations what they can be, can do, can't do? Well, in that kind of situation, we got that kind of power that's leveraging the state, the government at the highest levels. That's a caste system.
Let me say this. Because we're not talking about because the argument is that it is unconstitutional. Affirmative action on college campuses is unconstitutional. But we're not having any debate on college campuses about legacies.
Right. I mean,
or like or these you know, if you're a billionaire and you buy your kid and you buy a wing of the library on the campus, like, are they, what is that?
Yeah.
That's much bigger threat
exactly
than affirmative action. It's a very little threat that, you know, black people in particular have on any other students to get into Harvard, let's say. I mean, we're a very still small part of the population of the school. So they really, it's their anger is misplaced.
I wish you was right about that. Because Harvard, when it was founded, it was not founded to do the thing that we're asking it to, broaden its shoulders, its purview, its admission policy to allow it. It was not designed that way. All of the United States was not designed that way. Right down to the Constitution was not designed that way. So that is unconstitutional. You know, only holds water where the constitutional is on the side of right.
Because we want to get in, because you know, the 1776ers want to get into this debate with the 1619ers about what's real American history. Real American history began when, don't get me started about the genocide of the indigenous peoples, but 1619 is the first documented slave ship landing on our shores, right? Okay. So, if that is true, there were colonies.
Yes.
1641 was the first court case where a African man was pleading for to be freed of his indentured
service.
John Punch, his indentured service, and he was sentenced, his first slave, sentenced in a court in the colonies to a life of servitude. The first life sentence given to a black man. John Punch, ladies and gentlemen. This happened. These were court cases in the colonies that became the foundation for the Constitution of the United States. In the meetings, in the constitutional conferences, there was a debate about who was human. And the decision was people of African slave ancestry, kidnapped, trafficked Africans were 3/5 of a person.
Right.
So you can miss me with all of this nonsense about how this is not a systemic issue, how things were not designed for my oppression and the oppression of people that look like me, and that oppression has been broadened over all marginalized groups. because of the fear of white replacement. I talked about it last week. Everything isn't about race, but it's all about race in America.
You just mentioned a little something about that white replacement thing, and there was another thing with the SCOTUS this week around that. And I just want to, in the last year or so, I may put that on tap. We just had the anniversary of the overturn of Roe v. Wade.
That was last Saturday.
Right. So my cynical hat. And I don't have many cynical cells in my body, but there are a few. When you juxtapose the white replacement theory against the picture of who's most vigorously arguing to curtail the rights of women to not control their health care in their bodies as it relates to abortion, okay, just frame up that picture where the loudest voices are coming from, okay? These are not your Asian Pacific Islanders, I have you know. These are not your indigenous people, I have you know. These are not your necessarily so your indigenously rooted Latino Hispanics. No. There's something else going on afoot here. And then I was just watching, I was flipping through Netflix this past weekend, ran across the like the Doogie family and that whole thing.
The Duggars.
The Duggars. The
19 county.
Shiny Americans, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Listen. They're not trying to get my daughter and sister to stop having abortions.
No.
That's for somebody else.
Yeah.
I'll just leave that right there.
Listen, we could go on and on, but sometimes you need to use history to really frame something. Every year, my nephew says I did this. He says the first time I sent this to him was when he was 8. Because I'm that auntie. So.
And how old is he now?
30. He'll be 32 this year.
Oh, okay.
So every 4th of July, I have shared this with my family. My sister shared, and I share it with the kids, with our friends, with whoever. I put it on Facebook every year. Nothing written in 1852 should be this should ring this hard in 2023, but hashtag SCOTUS, hashtag Clarence Thomas. So this week's Artist Spotlight, we have invited my dear friend of Collaboration, actor, sound designer, Warren Levon, to share a reading from the abolitionist Frederick Douglass's speech, The Meaning of the 4th of July for the Negro. He did the speech in Rochester, New York, on July 5th, 1852. And just take a listen.
What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him, more than all other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty which he is the constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham, your boasted liberty an unholy license, your national greatness swelling vanity. Your sounds of rejoicing are empty and heartless, your denunciation of tyrants brass-fronted impudence, your shouts of liberty and equality hollow mockery. Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgivings, with all your religious parade and solemnity, are to him mere bombast, fraud, deception, impiety, and hypocrisy. A thin veil to cover up crimes which would disgrace a nation of savages. There is not a nation on earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of the United States at this very hour. Go where you may, search where you will, roam through all the monarchies and despotisms of the old world, travel through South America, search out every abuse, And when you have found the last, lay your facts by the side of the everyday practices of this nation, and you will say with me that for revolting barbarity and shameless hypocrisy, America reigns without rival. Allow me to say, in conclusion, notwithstanding the dark picture I have this day presented of the state of this nation, I do not despair of this country. There are forces in operation which must inevitably work the downfall of slavery. The arm of the Lord is not shortened, and doom of slavery is certain. I, therefore, leave off where I began, with hope, while drawing encouragement from the Declaration of Independence, the great principles it contains, and the genius of American institutions. My spirit is also cheered by the obvious tendencies of the age. Nations do not stand in the same relation to each other that they did ages ago. No nation can now shut itself from the surrounding world and trot round in the same old path as its fathers without interference. The time was such could be done. Long-established customs of hurtful character could formally fence themselves in and do their evil work with social impunity. Knowledge was then confined and enjoyed by the privileged few, and the multitude walked on in mental darkness. But a change has come now over the affairs of mankind. Walled cities and empires have become unfashionable. The arm of commerce has borne away the gates of the strong city. Intelligence is penetrating the darkness of corners across the globe. It makes its pathway over and under the sea as well as on the earth. Wind, steam, and lightning are its charted agents. Oceans no longer divide, but link nations together. From Boston to London is now a holiday excursion. Space is comparatively annihilated. Thoughts expressed on the other side of the Atlantic are distinctly heard on the other. The fiat of the Almighty, let there be light, has not yet spent its force. No abuse, no outrage, whether in taste, sport, or avarice, can now hide itself from the all-pervading light. The iron shoe and crippled foot of China must be seen in contrast with nature. Africa must rise and put on her yet unwoven garment. Ethiopia shall stretch out her hand unto God. In the fervent aspirations of William Lloyd Garrison, I say, and let every heart join in saying it. God speed the year of Jubilee, the wide world o'er. When their galing chains set free, the oppressed shall vilely bend the knee and wear the yoke of tyranny like brutes no more. The year will come in freedom's reign, to man his plundered rights again restore.
One of my favorite poems is Robert Frost, Nature's First Green is Gold. All the same. Snaps for Warren.
Yes.
Snaps for Warren. So new. So here we are. It's time for our special guest. Let me read a little bit about Chef Erika.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Chef Erika Durham is a restaurant consultant with over 20 years of experience as a corporate executive chef, wine and spirit scholar. She done studied the wine, y'all. And food writer. One of her life's passions is to use what she learned to help restaurateurs achieve their business goals. She finds her ultimate joy while playing with her food. And she is here with us in studio. Whoop, 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 whoop. And you can chat with Chef Erika if you'd like. You can call in at 773-763-WCPT. That's 773-763-9278. If you have any questions or things you want to share with us and she, and here's why I thought this was the perfect time to have you. So it's 4th of July. And you know I feel away.
Yes. Yes, I've learned that.
Yes. I have feelings. But I like to eat.
Yes.
So I never let my feelings overtake, get in the way of a good meal.
Because I was going to say, don't go to those 4th of July barbecues.
Listen, it's independence, and I will independently eat a pork rib for my ancestors who cooked them for the first 4th of July. It's the way I honor. So I'm going to ask, that's why I honor my people. Chef Erika, what is your origin story?
Oh, wow, my origin story, like I'm a villain or something.
No, you're a hero. Heroes have origin stories, too.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. See how I went automatically to the negative? That's a problem. He ain't through with me yet.
He's still working on all of us.
So, so I was a corporate chef, as you said already, and decided that I was too much of a rebel to continue that way. I want to be able to I also view myself as this artist. And so I wanted to be able to express myself in all of these different ways that I feel, like I've been blessed with. And really being in that corporate world didn't allow me to do that so much. I actually just recently had an opportunity to maybe go back. It might have been a test from God, to go back to corporate. And I realized that I was already changing myself back into that person that I was getting away from or wanting to get away from. So I'm staying out and, continuing to be that rebel. And while I'm doing it, continuing to learn about foods of different cultures, which is the one thing that I did really, really get excited about in my corporate life. But I'm doing it even more so, like honoring the foods of the African diaspora and how they relate to other foods and other cuisines. And, I just really feel like it's the root of all food.
We were the first people.
Yes.
And maybe we made the first collard green. Who knows? So, what is your signature? What is your dish? What is your thing?
I don't have one. So I will say something that I did recently. Okay. That I was thinking. Actually, I think on my way here today, I was like, okay, I think that I'm going to continue to make this dish. Okay. Because it really, I got a lot of great feedback. So it was a seared cod. With a moqueca broth, which moqueca, for those who don't know, is a Brazilian fish stew. Okay. So it's got like a coconut milk base. And then I also had it with jollof rice. Yes. So I brought the West African in. And then on the top, I put some prawns in there, just to make it look all pretty and weird and all of that. And then for some crunch, I put some tostones on there, which is like a plantain that you smash, like you cook, you smash, and then you fry it again. It's all crispy and good on the inside. So that's that Latin Caribbean. And then just, like a little homage to the South, where I did like the Caribbean, like West Indian Caribbean. I did a breadfruit Johnny cake.
I've never had breadfruit.
You need to have. I'm going to make sure you have some breadfruit. It's amazing. I need it. And it's such a weird fruit because it's not like fruit at all. It's like straight up like bread. I mean, yeah, it's like a piece of fruit that tastes like brioche.
I need that.
It's bizarre. But I love it.
I need that in my life.
Yeah.
Who taught you how to cook?
Well, my grandmother taught me how to cook, and I always loved to cook since I was a little girl. And that would be what I would do to play. So when I was 9, we would have this book fair at school. And so I remember buying some books, but I remember buying my first cookbook that I bought, and I said, okay, I'm going to make everything out of this cookbook. So after school, I would go over to my grandmother's house and like make something out of the cookbook every day for my activity. But even before that, I would be 6 years old, standing on a chair making soups. Like I used to also make soups after school, which is a weird thing for a 6-year-old to do. But yeah, I would. So she, wow. I would make it from whatever was there. So she had some leftover rice. The rice was going in this soup. Some carrots, whatever it was, to the point that she would, buy me my own bouillon cubes.
Pick you up in the
right. I had the bouillon cubes,
Got your own space in the cupboard.
It was something I always just really enjoyed doing. And I mean, I had an easy bake oven. I used it.
Let me tell you, okay, we have synergy.
Yes.
So I come from a long line of greedy people that cook all the food. No, my father's parents were, I've said this to you, my father's parents were both chefs. And so they cooked. It was always somebody cooking. 3 years old, when I got my first Easy Bake, my two older sisters, bought me my Sesame Street cookbook.
Oh.
So I've been cooking since I was 3.
Awesome.
And my sisters used to sit me on this stove, next to the stovetop, so I could scramble my own eggs.
Oh, that's so cute.
But I want to know,
no.
Did your Easy Bake oven have a 100-watt light bulb?
It did.
They all did. They all did, and you had that little handle that you would push the little cake pan through, and then it would always become melted.
Yes.
Somehow it touched the light bulb.
Right.
And they did.
And my sisters were so ridiculous. When I ran out of the Easy Bake mix, they were like, "Oh, we got to make our own cake."
Yes.
Because they were using it more than me, basically.
Yes.
So tell us about your pop-up. You did a pop-up recently.
I did, and that's where I made that cod dish. So, I work with other chefs, and they do these pop-ups all the time, and I might advise them on what I think, how I think they should do it. And I've almost done my own many times, and for whatever reason, it would just never happen and never work out. So this time it actually happened, and I called it For the Culture. Mm-hmm. And so that's a double entendre, because I was doing it for the culture. But then also, while I was doing it for the culture, I was also honoring culture at the same time. Mm-hmm. So that fish dish was one. And I recently went to Ghana for Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I had some chocolate that I brought back because, the real chocolate comes from Ghana. Belgium, they're known for their chocolate and they make amazing chocolate, but they get all of their cacao from Ghana. And so I actually went to a chocolate factory that was owned by a Ghanaian woman. Whose daughter goes to University of Chicago, by the way, which I thought was, just a weird way for us to connect.
There's a connection here.
Okay, but still, just for me I thought that was, But anyway, I was happy, but yes. Anyway, amazing chocolate, Bioko treats. And so they gave me actually they gave us some cacao.
Okay.
So I brought it back, and I brought some other chocolate back, but then I was thinking, what am I going to do with this? So I actually made a chocolate chili glazed pork, but with the Ghanaian chocolate, pork belly. That's important to say. The pork belly. I love a pork belly.
Oh, I love a pork belly. Yes.
And everything had that same, like the jollof and the, breadfruit cakes and the tostones and all of that. I did so ropa vieja is like a Cuban dish, which means like shredded cloves, and usually you make it with a beef. So you cook the beef and then you shred it up and you put it in this sauce that's a tomato, olive, and like caper based sauce. I did that on a chicken thigh. But I did the chicken thigh kind of like with the curry. It was roasted with curry and all of that. So that was introducing those two flavors. And then for the vegans, for all my sexy vegans out there,
Vegans need love too.
They
Vegans
do.
need
They
love
do.
too.
They get, no, they get on my nerves sometimes. but I make sure they're welcome too. So I made something called asapao con gandules, which is like it's a Puerto Rican dish. Mm-hmm. Usually made just with the gandules, which are like pigeon peas, which you would find in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. I use those, but then I was like, okay, I found some other beans. I found some Mexican mayocoba beans, and then I put some Nigerian honey beans in there, and some black-eyed peas just to bring it on back.
Yes.
Wow.
So, just really, I find fun, like I said, playing with my food, just kind of finding ways, okay, well, how can I flip this another way?
Right. Listen, where can people find you, locate you, if they want to consult with you or do a dinner? How do folks get in touch with you?
So they can find me on Instagram at They Call Me Chef Erika 1, and that's Erika spelled Erika. Or I found out the other day you can just put in Chef Erika and it comes up. So I guess I've made it.
There you go.
And you can also check me out on my website at cheferikablog.com. And Facebook, the Chef Erika page. I'm big into putting my name in that.
You have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Chef Erika page on Facebook. And on Twitter, which I don't do, I mostly just read other people's stuff on Twitter and like see what's going on and see them bashing Elon. That's really what I like to do on Twitter the most.
Yeah.
But I'm on there as Yum Diva.
Yum
Diva. That is my chef alter ego. The
I like
Yum
that.
Diva.
The Yum Diva.
I hear a fundraising event in the mix with Yum Diva with the Yum Yummies coming up with the good food.
Now, I ain't want to gossip it. You have not heard it from me. But a little birdie told me that Chef Erika might be doing a little something tasting with Collaboration in September. TBA.
I had heard something about that.
Yeah, so that it is not too far out of the realm of possibility for us to be Yum Diva.
Yum Diva. That is so strong.
Thank you. And I actually will be having another pop-up because it was so fun to do it the first time.
Yes.
So the tentative dates are September 21st and 22nd.
Okay.
But if you follow me on those channels, I'm definitely going to be up. Listen, trust me. If you follow me on those channels, you're going to see, because I'm going to keep talking about it and have all kinds of stories and, like all of those things.
Awesome. Last question, real quick. Favorite food, all time, hands down. Anytime you get it, you're going to eat it, period. No, as Dr. Marcus says, full stop.
Oh, my God. Favorite all-time food? Jeez. You know what? I don't know. Like, you making me, like, I don't know. It's so many foods. I always say I don't believe in limits. I can't limit myself. I love it. I love it all. I love it all.
You don't want to cheat on one food.
I don't. I know, because I almost said something and I was like, don't you say that, because then the other food is going to be mad at you. But, I forgot to mention, though, I will say one thing.
Yes.
I'm going to make some today, too, that I had at my pop-up that I'm going to do again that I gave away as a little gift. You mentioned collard greens.
Yes.
I made a little collard green watermelon salad.
Girl.
And it was just,
And you didn't think to bring any to me.
Well, I didn't make it
No,
again.
it's okay. I thought we were cool. I thought we were friends.
I got you, though. I got you.
Because,
I'm going to bring it to you.
Those are two of my favorite things on the planet.
Really?
Oh, Lord, yes.
And so it was a little, like a little refresher.
Yeah.
And,
It sounds cool.
And one of my clients came and she said, oh, yeah, I want to put that on my menu. I said, you can't have that. No. Do something else. I said, we'll find something else.
This is mine.
Right.
When I opened my spot,
right.
this is on my menu.
I don't know if she thought it was a compliment or what. I was like, no, you didn't pay for that. You're not going to do that.
I love that.
I love it. Collaboration Radio is sponsored by the Joseph and Bessie Feinberg Foundation and AV Chicago, and you too can be a sponsor or purchase an ad and be part of our weekly show and podcast and have this kind of fun with us all the time. Just email radio@collaboraction.org. If you forgot all of those Twitter and handles for Chef Erika, email us at radio@collaboraction.org to inquire, and be sure to check us out and follow us on all the social media platforms, because we are Collaboration everywhere. And now, it's the moment that we've all been waiting for. It is time for Walking the Talk with Dr. Marcus Robinson of the Social Innovation Group. What's happening, Dr. Marcus?
Well, I know what time it is. It's time to eat. We got to do some eating pretty soon here around here. And definitely, Chef, we definitely want to find a way to, Chef Erika, we got to do this. We got to do this pop-up thing, all right? You know, do the fundraiser with it, do something with us. We got to, know what it is? You got fusion.
Yes. That's what it is.
Fusion.
Yeah. And I always say with fusion, it became, in the culinary world, it became a dirty word.
Sure.
Because people would just say, oh, this is a fusion of this. But they never truly, what you have to do is honor the culture, get an understanding of why they use certain ingredients. Mm-hmm. And then you can take two cultures and then say, okay, well, these are the similarities and these are the things that might complement. And then you can have fusion. But people were just throwing stuff together. Yeah.
They was like just, a chitlin cheesecake. All kind of
chitlin cheesecake.
Just like a chitlin cheesecake. Yeah, they were.
So if you're brave enough to have that dessert, I'm with you, all right? I'll stand with you in the fire, all right? Now that we clear about nourishing ourselves and clear about the fusion, the value that fusion brings to us. The value that fusion brings to us is that it connects us to all the different ways in which we're human. And when you get all those flavors in your mouth, it's not just a gustatory experience. It's a epigenetic gustatory experience. It wakes some stuff up in you. So I can't wait to have some of these fused flavors. So I'm looking forward to it. And that's because we need the strength to do the thing you and I have to do. Really, really, really. If you're listening to WCPT 820 radio, then you know for sure that clearly we have to act, and we have to act with our voices, and we have to act with our voices by voting. And at this point, in a place like Chicago, in a place like Chicagoland, it's no longer good enough for us to be really into our progressive, deep thought about the way things are and can be and should have been. We got to talk to our cousins, brothers, sisters, network friends, and all the other places that we are not, particularly in those places that they call them purple states and red states, because it really is just the United States. Let's go there, right? It's really just the United States. And really, I know that at the end of the day, when I look across at my white male friend sitting across from me, I know that he wants the same thing I want. He wants to live a life in safety with opportunity to grow himself and to raise a family. And when I sit next to my black sisters in Queens, I know they want the same thing I want. They want to have families and wonderful societies that make a difference. But we all come at it from different angles. So when you go out to vote and call your friends and family and loved ones, be nice. Mm-hmm. Be kind to them. Be kind to them in a way that allows them to know that it's okay for them to be real raggedy with you, so that you can be really straight with them, so that you can wrestle some truth out, wrangle some truth out between your rancor. There's some truth that's going to come out of it, and then that little depth bit of truth that rings out of the conversations that you have, take the next best step towards each other. We won't get there in the first conversation or in the 40th one probably, but let's keep talking. Let's keep engaging, let's keep exploring, and let's keep being damn curious about, wonder how y'all came up with that. How you can hold that thought and still be a great dad or a great mom or a great boss. How can you do that? You wonder about that and ask them, because then you'll challenge them to declare exactly, how do I do that thing? How do I play that game? And then finally, I'm going to say this. The only reason why we had affirmative action in the first place was because to fix a broken system that was broken from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And to take the fix away and to pretend that it's not broken any longer is the height of irresponsibility in jurisprudence, my view, my opinion. So then, having said all of that, one thing I got to check myself on here, sis Carla, because I'm sitting over here having a conversation with Carla Stillwell, like my best friend, but we're on the radio.
But I feel like everyone heard your conversation with Carla, and maybe that's our next show, Conversations with Carla. Will you just talk to me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And people just feel what I feel because I was leaned in.
Okay.
I was like this. Sounded amazing.
So I'm loving my heart for everybody. I'm having fun with the kind of political chit chat here because we're in a kind of political type station and whatnot. But for real.
Yeah.
Reach out to your people, talk with them heart to heart, belly to belly, even try to get soul to soul with them. Because if we could do this, we can transform the thing. Transformation is going to feel a lot better than the alternative.
Right.
Full stop.
And there it is. That was great. That was so much fun. Did you guys have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
Did everybody listening have fun? Henry, did you have fun?
Absolutely.
There.
I was enthralled the entire time.
Our engineer, I didn't shout you out earlier. Thank you all so much. That is our show. It was great. You can catch us live next Saturday at 4 p.m. Central, and our guest will be... Who is our guest next week? I forgot. Dang it.
Oh, no.
Dang it. Now you really got to go to Collaboration.
Right.
Collaboration.org.
To get you to go to
Like you got to go. Now you got to go to Instagram and to Twitter so you can know who's coming up next week. It's somebody amazing. I'm just old and forgot. So thank you all so much for your patience. You can also listen to this podcast at WCPT's SoundCloud and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can watch us on YouTube too. And hopefully this week my head is above the monitor because last week I looked like a Muppet.
Oh, no.
You could only see me there. So, but it was still fun. Thank you so much. Thank you to Chef Erika for being our special guest. Thank you, Dr. Marcus, who is here with us every week, Fist Bump. And y'all guys, enjoy your holiday however you want to and have a great week.
Yes, even though nobody called me.
They didn't call me.
They didn't call me.
They suck.